Oh my God, Africans should go back to their country and fix Africa. Oh my God, Africans are just running away. Why can't they stay and build Africa? Oh my. I think Africans are just afraid and they're using corrupt politicians as an excuse. All right, stupid queen, let's educate you. Ugh. All right, guys, let's get into it. So, I was on a talk show the last time. This guy talks about relationship between a black man, a black woman. He doesn't specify African Americans or Africans, whatever. So there was this caller who said a couple of things about African politics, and I was the next caller, so I went in and I kind of made a couple of clarifications to the points that the person made, right? And then I went on to say something about mainstream media tend to use other immigrants as a way to trample over African American fights, their pleas, and how they do it is they show immigrants. They're like, oh, look at these black immigrants over here. They came here, they were successful. Look at these other immigrants, they're successful. African Americans have the same opportunity, but they are just lazy. They like to be ghetto queens, they like welfare, and they want free stuff. So their cries and their pleas and their fights are not legitimate. And I said that. I said that, right? And I pointed that out. Then I went on to say that relationship-wise, I do not understand at which point did black women started being educated or told that in order for them to be submissive, the black man has to have money. Because when you go back to the 80s and you look at black families, black men weren't rich. But yet and still, black women were submissive. So at which point did the whole idea come that money equals submission, right? And then I said, what really bothers me a little bit, like you would see black women who would say things like they are not the submissive kind, and then they would get with a Middle Eastern person and be submissive. And let's be honest, a lot of men from the Middle Eastern region, they're pretty strict with submission. You know, they're going to know where you go, what you did. They're going to know every single thing you do before you even do it. And you will find black women doing it when they're with them. And I was like, I think it's the money issue, because if I had to compare black men with Middle Eastern men, I think black men submission have a lot more leeway than Middle Eastern. But yet and still, because of the money aspect, black women would not submit to black men, but they will submit to a Middle Eastern person. And then we had this whole conversation and I got off air, right? So I'm in the comment section. We're having fun in the comment section. His comment section is amazing. So we're having a whole nother fun in the comment section. And then this African American lady called. She called and she was like, you know, when people are about to stereotype you, but they want to be politically correct, they go into this mode, right? And she was like, I don't know. It rubs me another way when Africans try to fix black Americans. And the guy was like, what? And she was like, the African caller who just called not too long ago, bashing black Americans. First of all, I never bashed black Americans. I'm way too educated, be it general education or politics, to just bash African Americans, right? And she was like, I just find it weird. And it just rubs me the wrong way when Africans are like bashing African Americans or trying to fix African Americans. Like, African Americans are not the problem. She was like, if every African American person was to vanish from this planet, Africa would still have a problem. And the guy was like, have you ever been to Africa? She was like, no. The guy was like, so you were speaking on something that you don't know about? And she was like, well, I feel like, Africans are just scared to build Africa and fight corruption. I think they're just using corrupt politicians as an excuse. And I was like, damn, sis. Damn. Because Africans complain about this all the time. Why does that picture look crooked? Does it look crooked to you guys? Let me know in the comment section. It looks weird. Back to the topic. Africans complain about this all the time. All the time. Africans will tell you, African Americans are the superior of stereotypes when it comes to being a minority. African American people tend to live in stereotyping other people. And it's so weird. It's like that victimology 101, where the abused becomes the abuser. Because sometimes I'm like, do you not hear yourself? Because somebody might think, well, I don't think that's a stereotype. All right, let me rephrase what she said. She said, I think Africans are using corrupt politicians as an excuse to not build Africa. I think Africans are just scared. Okay, you might not think it's a stereotype. Let's flip it. I think African Americans are just lazy. I think they're using inequality as an excuse to not progress in life because other immigrants are doing it. See? Stereotype. And she literally, and this is not just her. I didn't just make this topic because of her. I have heard these things before. And this is when she said it, I was like, here we go again. I've heard it so many times, right? Stereotype. And then she wanted to say, she was like, another thing that bothers her was the fact that Africans tend to migrate. She was like, why are they running from their country? Why don't they stay in their country and build? First of all, sweetheart, you're black. It doesn't matter. You don't belong in the Western land, just so you know. I'm just going to say that. Because when they're stereotyping people who should leave America, they're stereotyping you, boo-boo. But whatever. And I was like, it is so rich that people who have been stereotyped, who you would think will have more of a sympathy for other people, tend to be the one to bathe in the stereotype. Because let's talk about, immigrants migrating to this country or to the Western world, right? You cannot be in a sinking sand and pull somebody else up. Y'all both gonna sink, right? You cannot be in the mud and pull someone out of the mud. You have to be able to be outside, standing away, throw a rope or something for that person to grab on so you pull that person up. A lot of us immigrants that come to these countries, especially first, second generation, we are not the ones who are running around trying to be Westerners. No. We're the ones being doctors, nurses. We're going for high professional jobs that we know we can take back home and help our people. I know a lot of nurses and doctors that are actually in the process of buying their time, building a little bit, going home every now and then and building a little bit so they can open their practices, so they can work with doctors, so they can work with other people. So you see Africans migrating to these countries, they're not running away. They're looking for better opportunities so they can find a better job and make money. Because without the money, how are you going to build? If you're in Africa and you have a drive to build a hospital, but you don't have the opportunity to an education or a job, how are you going to build? You going to dream it? You can't dream it. You have to be able to find a means to do it. And these things takes time. It takes about 10 to 15 years of your life. So don't see Africans in these countries and think, go back home and build your country. They're actually doing that. They're not just doing it at a fast pace because it's not something that a regular person can do at a fast pace. How long does it take you to save $20,000? Exactly. It's not an easy thing, right? So don't be stereotypical. They're not running away. But African politics, It's not like American politics. You don't go to get how you call it, the pass they give you when you want to protest. You don't just go to get that in protest. You don't just make a sign and protest. You will get beat down. It's no joke. Police will come up and beat you off the street, even if you have the right paperwork to protest. I've been in a protest in Africa. They tear gas us, and we had the proper document. Okay? It's not a joke, but yet and still, Africans are doing it on a daily basis, fighting against corruption. So for the audacity to have African Americans, obviously, not every single one of y'all, but to have a group of them think that you can sit on your high horse and just dish out stereotype, dish it out because you don't care now that it's not against you. If you don't know something, maybe take a little any bit of time to research it before you go talking about it. Before you call Africans scared. Because, if you call me scared, I want to call you lazy. Is that a fair game? Because I'm thinking it's fair. How about that now? Now, when Africans, and this is what happens, right? African Americans will stereotype us, and then we too will want to be petty. So we will drag the original stereotypes against them, and they'll be like, oh, they hate us. African hate us. No, we don't. But you guys can't help yourself from stereotyping us. So we get in the mud with you. We don't hate you. Listen, if a black person was standing across the street and some weirdo, right, was like, I'm going to kill black people, he ain't going to spare me. He's going to think, oh, she's African. He's going to look at me as a black person. So no, we do not hate y'all. But the fact that y'all will bast, you guys will soak yourself in the stereotype against us, make us want to be petty too and come for you. Just educate yourself. Yes, what you said was stupid. You ain't no queen. You are ignorant, and your crown is made out of stupidity. Yes, you're ignorant with a stupid crown. Educate yourself before you come against Africans. Another thing I wanted to point out real quick. 2 things the Westerners have that Africa did not: time and help. Africa does not have slaves building Africa. Africans are building Africa. America has been in existence for 240 some years. Ghana has been free for 60 years. You think if every single Ghanaian across the planet was to come and live in Ghana, you think they would upgrade Ghana to American status? Because the progress America had when they were 60 years old is not the progress they have now. So how dare you sit there and try to compare the two? It's not easy. It's not an easy step. And then she talked about something. She said, oh, Africans act like they don't have money to build Africa. They have money. Let me ask you, little stupid queen. Let me ask you something. America is not a poor country, so why are black people poor? America is not a poor country, so why are black people bottom feeders? See how stupid that sounds? For you to just sit there and say, oh, because Africa has money, so Africans should just build Africa. Who do you think have the money? The everyday regular people? No. Same thing with the U.S. The U.S. is not a broke country. So why are people poor? The audacity. I'm just going to stop here, guys. You already know what to do. Hit that red button. These videos are made twice a week. But my overall conclusion is, if you don't know something, maybe research before you say it. And before you say something against a group of people, maybe say it out loud to yourself. Think about what you're saying. Are you stereotyping people? Or it's a good statement? If that statement was to be said against you, will it be okay? And before you say, oh, but you're stereotyping too. Of course I am. She started it. See you guys in my next video.